Facilities Committee meeting to order. I would like for us to change the agenda a little bit and move the discussion items first and the approval second. Can I have a motion to do that?
Motion.
Motion is accepted. Commissioner Neal is going to be, he's been delayed, and so we feel like by doing this, hopefully he'll be present for the approval section. Is there any public comment?
Yes, sir.
So let's proceed into the discussion on the water production report. Mr. Burrs?
Yes, sir. On our water production report for the month of June, our unaccounted for water system-wide across all three systems was a little over 7%, 8.2 million gallons a day metered, just shy of 8.9 million gallon a day produced. Did have 31,658 water bills for the month, so you see a steady climb over the last 17 months in number of customers. So system continues to grow, and the metering system that we put in place continues to be effective to make sure we know where that water is being utilized at. If we go to the second page and look at the Brunswick system, overall, Golden Isles 1 had a bit of motor issues, so you see a reduction in the Golden Isles 1 water usage. If you could zoom in for me there. And the rest of them, mostly normal. Ridgewood picked up a lot of the slack from Golden Isles 1, which is not necessarily unexpected. Still trying to reduce the usage at Brunswick Villa as much as we can, and moving forward. Goodyear Park also had a motor issue. We've been having a lot of motor issues. Goodyear Park had a motor issues, and Howard Coffin picked up the slack there. But Brunswick system, 5.16 million gallons per day produced, 4.8 on the unaccounted, on the metered, so 6.93% unaccounted. Did have a few taste and odor complaints. Most of those were odor complaints. As people get back in town for the tourism type activities, we tend to have more odor complaints as people are going to properties they previously weren't at, and we have stagnant water and hot water heaters that tend to leave us some odor complaints. Very consistent water usage month to month, very similar to where we were this time last year. As we get to the wastewater report, you will see that it is a much rainier month, so not as much outdoor water usage, but very consistent nonetheless. So good to see on the mainland system. St. Simon's Island for the month, average daily flow of just shy of 3 million gallons a day. Very similar to where we were at last month. As we know, our attendance on the island continues to pick up this time of year. The system is very well balanced over there. Good to see that occurring. Nothing running excessively, all of them getting nearly 500,000 gallons a day of usage. One taste and odor complaint, that was again an odor complaint with a lot of second homes on the island. That is somewhat to be expected. 4.23% unaccounted for on the island. I think that's got more to do with the way the well meters are calibrated. I suspect our numbers are somewhere closer to that 8 to 10% range than the 5% range, but you can see how the last 3 months it has decreased. That's likely the last time we calibrate them quarterly. So be interesting to see what the June reading looks like if it goes up a little bit more. But follows a very similar pattern to where we were this time last year. It's always interesting that the water patterns are so close year to year. So almost the exact same shape as we had last year. And you can see we're rapidly getting to the heavy use part of the year as our friends from all over the country come to visit St. Simon's Island. So, and on the South Mainland for the month, you will actually note more water usage than typical. We daily average produced just shy of 600,000 gallons a day, but the daily average metered at 400,000 gallons a day shows an unaccounted for significant increase. It's a little bit of a misnomer. We had to do a significant amount of flushing at the South Mainland this month due to some dirty water complaints. We dumped a lot of water on the ground in the process out near the old Brookman facility off of Emmanuel Church Road. And so that is the reason for the gap that we had. Still not 100% sure what was causing the dirty water, but the solution when you have dirty water is to flush it and get fresh water through the system. So our crews for a couple of days were putting an awful lot of water on the ground. So that is why the increase there for usage for the month.
Andrew, can you tell us, our water models, does it show the direction the water is generally flowing in?
Todd, you want to answer that?
The direction the water's flowing in normally? Our water models, does it show, because we got several wells on the mainland and fewer wells in St. Simons. But like St. Simons, are all the wells running, they're not all running all the time.
They're not running all the time, no, sir.
And the same thing on the mainland. And they come on based on pressure, I guess.
Most of our wells are tied to a particular elevated storage tank and they're back up on a secondary tank. There's a few of our wells that are too far from a elevated storage tank to run off an elevated storage tank. Those are run off of local pressure sensors.
But I just wonder, do we know from the water model which way the water's flowing?
That can determine, yes, sir. Yes.
And does it sometimes flow this way and sometimes this way?
Yes, it absolutely does that. Yes, sir, 100%.
And is that bad? That's not bad necessarily.
It's not necessarily bad. It's, as the demand increases in certain areas, we'll see certain wells pick up, particularly if they're the backup on one of the elevated storage tanks. If that tank's seeing a significant demand for some reason, you'll see the backup well kick in.
But, and what I'm getting at, I want to make sure that the systems are balanced. Because we're talking about putting in a new well on the north end. And I'd like to just see how that's going to help. And then we got the Brookman, which is way out there. And that's the problem, because that does not have anybody past it. So that might
Correct me
help.
if I'm wrong, but Chair, I think Bookman well pretty much flows easterly toward all the development on the east side.
Brookman's easy.
to
Brookman and
determine.
Fancy Bluff are easy to see the direction of flow. The other one's a little more complicated.
And I mean, the reaction time for the Fancy Bluff well means that Bookman pretty much carries the majority of
It
it
does.
until
So
we
Fancy
get the
Bluff
new well on
operates
site.
off of local pressure. That's, you know, if you don't operate Fancy Bluff off of local pressure, it essentially will not run.
And the Brookman well's the one out there by
It's one out
itself.
82, yes, sir.
So
Across from
everything comes back this way.
everywhere comes back, yes, sir.
And it comes out of the tank.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Brookman and well only feeds the tank typically. We can bypass the tank if we need to, but it almost always just feeds the tank if the tank's drained out of it.
And what's the difference in elevation in the tank, operating levels?
I don't know the exact number on that. We typically operate somewhere between 58 PSI and 52 PSI.
And when we start the new well up, how's that going to affect it?
The new elevated tank is at the same elevation as the existing tank. So we should not have any issues with them fighting against each other, and it would significantly help the stabilization of pressures on that southern portion of the exit 29 system in the those neighborhoods down 17 right now, being fed off that tank all the way out at Brookman. It goes through an awful lot of piping network before it will get to them. And so they will see fluctuations in pressure when the tank's not necessarily showing that fluctuation in pressure, particularly when they get home in the evenings and there's a higher demand at those sites for backfills.
So we don't run any wells based on a timer?
On a timer, no, sir. Some of them we turn on by hand just to run periodically, but nothing's run based off time, no, sir.
And which wells run the most? This tells us which wells.
That tells us the
run
flow rate per well, average daily. Now, that's an average over a month. That changes obviously, but it depends on, obviously, if there's any, like the flushing that we had to do. You see the Brookman well at exit 29 picked up the bulk of that flushing flow that we had because it was out there towards the Brookman tank. So you'll see some fluctuations in that, but in general, they're pretty consistent.
Does the fire department tell us when they're flushing?
No.
How often do we flush?
Well, we've not been doing a lot of proactive flushing in a lot of areas recently. However, as we get back closer to fully staffed on the distribution system, that's one of the crews that we're restaffing for. And if that happens, the crews that are on the hydrant, the crew members that are on the hydrant crew do maintenance on all of our hydrants as they go through on the system, and every hydrant gets flowed at that time.
And the Miocene wells work the same?
Yes, sir.
They just come on?
They just come on based off the pressure in the tank or local pressure, depending on how it runs. Yes, sir. Nothing is ran off of time. Like I said, occasionally we do turn a well on by hand if it hasn't ran And so just make sure it's gonna run a little bit every day, but in general, we don't run anything other than off pressure.
Okay. All right. What's next? Wastewater?
Wastewater flow report for the month, Academy Creek. A little good news, mostly good news, some slight bad news as a result. But rainfall did pick up. You'll notice the flow rate 7.2, highest it's been since September. Kind of happens when you're in a drought. But as we seem to be rapidly coming out of that drought, the flows are starting to go up. You'll notice that we did have a violation on ammonia for the month of May, but it was a significant reduction from the month of April. The summer ammonia limits kick in May, so we had a 70% reduction in ammonia leaving the facility. It's just above the limit of 1. Through the results of yesterday, we are under 1 for the month, or 0.7 for the month of June. So making rapid progress on that. Timing just didn't work out in our favor for the month of May. We're operating at Academy right now. We're operating on very narrow margins with the way the clarifiers are working as we're going through the project. So we had several days under 1 for the month, but we had a couple of days that were up in the 2 to 3 range, and the math didn't work out for us. But overall, plant is coming along very well. You're seeing improvement across the board in a lot of areas. So 99, the removal efficiencies are a little bit skewed because we're having to open drains on the clarifiers to make sure that the things will flow out because of the problems with the suction arms on the clarifiers. But you notice there the 8 inches of rain for the month on the mainland totaled a lot more rain than we've had for the previous 6 months combined. So did have a little bit less sludge going to the landfill. That was not a positive sign. We are having issues with the presses, and so that number should be much higher in the month of June as we play catch up. We did run a alkalinity dosing trial for the month at Academy Creek. So you can see the influent didn't change a whole lot, the effluent didn't change a whole lot, but as we had a much higher removal efficiency on ammonia, the alkalinity did not decrease significantly as a result because we were running that trial. Did generate more solids that we were having to deal with. We will see how it goes for the month of June, and we may have to go back to adding that chemical, but right now the limitations on clarifier performance are driving us to be more concerned about the additional solids created by the dosing of the chemical than the improvement in alkalinity.
But our ammonia is the lowest it's been.
The lowest it's been since 2020, since Pinova shut down, yes, sir. But that's due to, we have not pinpointed the exact cause of our ammonia inhibition. However, our ammonia inhibiting chemical that's coming in no longer is coming in. We'll take our wins. But as you see, again, flow follows a very consistent pattern month to month, other than, season to season, other than rainfall differences. But the flow did go up very much, and so on trend where we were this time last year.
Why do we have CBOD on Academy Creek and the other plants we have just BOD?
CBOD was in the newest update of renewal. I actually need to update the month of May actually was the first on the new permit at South Florida. It's went to CBOD too, so I need to update that. So that was, they changed it in the permitting process. Dunbar Creek for the month, 3.3 million gallons a day. Again, about 8 inches of rain. Did have a very heavy rain day comparatively on the island, 3.7 inches of rain for the day recorded. But plant moving along swimmingly over there. You see the effluent concentrations reduced a little bit, but the effluent concentrations rocking right along there at the facility. 97% BOD removal, 97.5% TSS removal. Very consistent operations at the plant. Good job by our team there keeping that plant moving along. We did, at the last meeting, we approved a clarifier rehab for clarifier 1 at Dunbar Creek. That is underway, and so we should be getting that clarifier back online and dropping the clarifier 2 coming up in the next month or so, doing some rehab work to it as well.
We started adding chemicals for phosphorus.
Not yet. We have the EID meeting, but the permit requirements for phosphorus have not been kicked off yet as we're going through the permitting process, so we're not required to add it yet. We are looking at purchasing chemicals and beginning dosing just to do some piloting prior to permit changes.
What's gonna be the level for that in a new permit?
1.
Okay.
1 is the discharge. All right, South Fork for the month at exit 29, 435,000 gallons a day. As you would expect with the plant under a third loaded, it handles it very well. 98% BOD and TSS removal for the month. A little bit less rain at exit 29 according to the rain gauges. According to my yard, I don't think that's accurate, but that's according to the rain gauges. But very consistent month to month at exit 29. You can see the adjustment we made with the issue we were having. The flow meter is showing up. We have not removed that much I&I from the system at exit 29. That was a flow meter issue that we were getting corrected last year that showed that elevated discharge levels. But kudos to our team at all 3 plants. Seeing improvement across the board. Things are turning around at Academy Creek with the removal of the inhibitive chemical, and looking forward to Clarifier project getting underway and smoothing out some even rougher edges we've got. But good job by our team operators, really taking charge and doing what they need to do at the facilities.
When do you think they're gonna actually start work on the Clarifier project?
Well, we'll drop the 1 clarifier about a month in advance of material getting there so they can get everything broken down out of it, cut out of the way, and get it coated. You're looking at probably somewhere in the ballpark of November before that happens, just because the lead time on the clarifier equipment is 40-week lead time on the equipment.
And how long do you think it's gonna take on each clarifier?
2 to 3 months per clarifier. 1 month to break it down and prep it, and 1 month to put it back together.
12 to 15 months.
Something like that, yes. Now, the contractor has indicated if we would let him do more than 1 clarifier at a time, he could do it quicker than that, but hydraulics are hydraulics, so.
Okay.
If we didn't have high flows for 2 months, we could do more than 1 clarifier at a time, but we typically don't go 6 months without rain. Missed our window to get 2 done at a time.
Okay. Let's talk about projects now, Todd.
All right, Chairman, Commissioners, thank you. This is our project report for the month, and we'll zip through some good pictures of what's going on out in the field here. The first one we're going to talk about is exit 42 elevated storage tank. And that project is in process. You can see good friends there to the south of, excuse me, the Hill Point warehouse, Hill Point Phase 2 coming in right next door. Here's our tower. Wait for the bowl construction, which is next. And right to the north of that is the Amazon facility. We expect to see a little bit of delay in the steel, which is the next component of construction, as we saw down at exit 29, where they construct the bowl around the base of the tank and then they raise that into place. We're looking at probably sometime mid to late summer before we see crews back on site to do that. In the meantime, we're hoping to get the crews back on site to do site work to facilitate our entrance, which will be off this public right-of-way. Glynn County now has that acquired as public right-of-way, this entrance here, and our entrance to our tank site is going to come in right through here. So a little bit of site work, a little bit of field work. Heli is the subcontractor for Phoenix. We come back and do that here. We've got a meeting with them next week. A good shot, and that's looking to the north. See exit 42 here. Interchange right here, Bucky's right there. Nice Bucky sign right here. And then actually, we'll talk a little bit about, well, we have another project coming up, actually, where we're going to work with the Alabama Plantation team, is getting force main extended underneath the I-95 right over here. That's a project. We got a pre-con for it that's coming up Monday. A lot of activity.
When are they gonna start building homes there?
Depends on what you, depends on whether you
Yes.
approve their dedication or
Yes,
not.
sir, right. So, we'll be talking about, absolutely. So
Yeah.
Alabama Plantation, we're gonna be talking about those, as you see on the agenda. Up for consideration is, acceptance of the infrastructure out there in a couple of easements. So we'll definitely get more into that one there. Building homes, very, very soon. I imagine we'll probably see some builders mobilize there if everything goes well today and tomorrow, next week, probably, I would see that happening, so.
It looks good out there.
We've got a lot of good things have happened out there, and we got a lot of good stuff to talk about. All right, so this is looking up from below inside our exit 42 tank. Basically a big concrete cylinder pointed upwards. You've got a fill tube, an overflow tube, and a discharge tube back to the public water system. Yet to
In
be
the
connected.
interior, we don't have a concrete slab the whole way in there?
We will, yes, sir.
Okay.
So, right now, they've got their conduits, chases and everything all plumbed out here. That's all ready to go. They will form a slab in the very bottom of this right here, so it'll be nice and finished when it's done. You can see from that shot there. Conduits, and that's actually a good bit of fill. I don't know if you can see right here. This will be filled flush with the entranceway with the threshold, and actually on the outside of the tank as well, will be tapered down around the site. Okay, next project is down at exit 29. Three-part project going on down there. The first, Division 1, is our water production facility or well site, but also the service pump house right there that sends the water out to our distribution system. And this is a vault going in here. Miscellaneous water main extension activity to tie in that new facility to the existing water system.
What's the vault for?
Look, that's our meter vault.
Oh, yeah, it's a meter vault.
So typically, water will come out, you can barely see it right here in the back corner. That's our well. So we took an existing well, pre-existing well, rehabbed it, modified the motor and such to the conditions that we need now. That well pumps over our ground storage tank over here. And then when the system calls for water to be pushed into the new water to be pushed in, pull water out of the ground storage tank, it comes in our high service pumps here, comes out here, goes through the flow meter, then on out to the system. There's our meter, what a typical meter looks like.
When do you think we'll be turning this well on?
Very soon, we're in the last throes of, you can see the production facility is essentially complete. This is the last major item of the project, using the water line tied in, which they've been working on this week.
Tie-in's supposed to be Thursday.
Yeah, I'm supposed to finish that Thursday, so, I would say within a month, we should be seeing water being pumped out into the system. Final closeout probably by the end of July. Contractors, Petticoat Schmidt. Outside view of the facility is very nice, and it complements the exit 29 water pollution control facility down there, existing.
Was anybody there when they raised the tank?
At the treatment facility?
Yeah.
I'm sure we had staff there, yeah, it was during.
Two operators.
Yes, sir.
Video it?
We do have a time-lapse video of it, yes, sir. We can pull that up.
Yeah, we raised that tank according to the video in about 8
Only
seconds.
took about 8 seconds.
Did it show how they raise it?
Yeah, I think we can probably pause it and slow it down, yeah, it's, we can talk about that, no problem. So, speaking of, here is Division 2, our elevated storage tank, down at exit 29, just south of the treatment plant, on the commission's property down there. And, we had a very nice, event down there. Glynn County staff and leadership attended as well. You can see standing there. And basically, as we talked about before, on these types of tanks, they'll construct the concrete column first, and then they will build the steel tank, the bowl around the base of it. And they do that because it's easier to work closer to the ground like that, and they actually get the thing pretty much, 90% painted. Now, of course, right now, there's no top on the tank because it is threaded over the column, so it's like a big glass, if you will, or whatever, wine glass. As it goes up, they'll raise that thing with hydraulics and cables, and they'll raise that thing up in place. And as soon as they get it up at the very top, they weld it in place, and they seal weld everything, and then they build the top over the top of the steel top. And it took they started a little after 8 o'clock, and I think by about 10:30 they had the thing in place. So you can see it's moving about halfway up right there, and you can't really see the cables from this view. But you can see right here, this kind of showcases here, all around they've got hydraulic cylinders that pretty much, you've got cables that are suspended down, they're latched onto the bottom end of this bowl. And it's hydraulic rams. They're all coordinated. They raise them up a little over here, all the way around to keep that thing level as it goes up. And then when they get to the extent of the hydraulic ram, they lock the cable down, they lower the ram again, grab another bite, and pull it up some more. They do that multiple times, and then raise that tank up to this top elevation. There we go.
Nobody's up there when they're doing that, or is it?
Yes, sir.
Their crew, they'll crew members for them.
I don't see anybody in that picture.
They've got crew on top.
And when are they gonna paint the inside?
Inside's going on right now, matter of fact, yeah. So they're painting on, so now they've got the bowl, or the tea glass, or whatever you want to call it, is already up in place, and now they start welding the top on top. You can see in these pictures here, the corral they've got, and actually the top, right here. Top's all welded into place, you got the corral up top, got some guys up there working right now, painting all that, getting the outside, kind of like drying in a house. Get that all done, now they start working on the inside, getting the inside.
The top has a little bit of a dome.
Just a little bit, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Keep rain shed off of it.
Have you been up there?
Not yet, they hadn't let us get up there yet. As soon as,
I'm not sure our workers' comp insurance wants them going in there.
but we may get up there.
May find a way.
We may find a way. Great view. All right, good deal. Next project is Howard, not Coffin, but Coffin Park pipe relocation. That is in progress. If you've driven by, you've probably seen a lot of activity. That is a City of Brunswick project to rehabilitate the tidal ditch through there. And it was a cooperative effort. You can see a couple pipe crossings, one up here, right here, a couple of pipe crossings that we have, and we teamed up with the city to work underneath their permit with the Department of Natural Resources to get those pipes basically under the ditch rather than having aerial crossings. Tidal action with salt water, the wet dry cycle and all that is just very, very hard on ductile iron casings, and it's just better to get those things underneath the ditch and out of the way. That way they also don't block up debris as it flows up and down the tidal ditch. Good aerial shot there. It's kind of a neat picture here. It gives a perspective of, you can tell this one was dug. That was a straightened out ditch. And then you can see it kind of starts meandering here. It gets a little more natural action right here. Crosses underneath 17 and on out to the marsh. Or the ski basin, as some people used to call it, I think.
So they're straightening that out?
No, sir. They're just rehabilitating the walls. They're putting in it's an armor block. It's a concrete block that's tethered together with basically rope and whatnot. And they set that in there. And their whole intent is to get it established with oysters and, natural grasses and whatever else that'll then naturally establish and hold that bank steady. But it's very important to us too, because even from this picture you can tell how close our facility is to the tidal ditch, and the corner of our fence is right here. And there's actually been some overtime undermining and erosion that's happened, so that'll all be fixed as part of the city's project, and that'll help protect our facility as well.
Is our production facility ever flooded?
Yes. Now, that generator we installed out there, that joker is in the air, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, what you see here, probably not the ideal location now for a facility like we have, Slam on Grade, but you can see this is essentially a salt pan. You know, it does, on super high tides, it does do that. Good shot there. You can see the casing. Again, this is a ductile iron casing with a carrier pipe or a water pipe that goes out here to feed the water system south of here. But it's it has, you know, extended through its life, and it's corroded and actually compromised now. So that's part of the utility being replaced.
What type of material is the carrier pipe?
Ductile. Well, the carrier,
Yeah.
I think the carrier's ductile too.
Yeah.
Another casing's ductile, but I think the carrier's ductile.
A good view looking down there. One is the overflow from the tank. The other's looking down through here. The farthest one is actually a force main that we're going to reroute underneath completely. So we're going to eliminate all these crossings. Some of the city's precast structures arriving on site there.
All those crossings water lines?
3 water, 1 sewer.
Right, right.
We're gonna eliminate one of the crossings and just have 2 water, 1 sewer.
Right, 2 will be underneath,
Yeah.
and totally eliminate one of them. And the way we're doing that is get a little creative with the configuration. We're not gonna cross anymore here, we're gonna come down and come across and tee it in and tie it in. So we'll have one major crossing through here and go from there. So we're able to eliminate the one. Let's see. Okay, next project, Cabot Creek Clarifier Rehab.
Yes, we are finalizing phase 1 services in the design build project. They've inspected the clarifiers, presented their first guaranteed maximum price, and we're taking advantage of the design build process. We've had a meeting with them and understood what the cost drivers were on the project. We've eliminated some things from the project to get it closer to the original budget. We're hoping to bring that to you at the July meeting for consideration, but we have ordered the clarifier mechanisms for the last meeting. That has been confirmed with the manufacturer, and looking forward to getting underway. But this project is a great example of why the design build approach has been successful for us, because rather than just bidding out that we would like all these things done and we get the bid back, we were able to see what the cost drivers were in different areas and determine whether it was worth that amount of investment to get it done. So some things that would have been nice to have, not necessarily worth the cost to get it done. So we're waiting on the updated price. We believe we'll be able to knock over $1 million off their original price from doing it this way. So significant savings by doing it this way for us. But you can get a good look at the inside of the clarifier. Clarifier 2 was down. The old skimmer arm dropped and started scraping and rubbing, so we had to bring it down, fix it, put it back online. That clarifier is going to be the first one that gets rehabbed. It's a constant headache.
What's the ages of these? Looking at that overall aerial, can you tell us the oldest ones?
Yes, go back up to that right there. The 2 to the right side there to the east, clarifiers 1 and 2, those were put in original to the plant in the 50s and 60s. 3 and 4 were put in the 70s, and 5 and 6 were installed in the late 80s. Now 1 and 2 were rehabbed in the late 80s, but the other ones have not had any rehab. None of them had been any significant rehab since the late 80s.
Let's go back and look at that manhole cover.
Yes, sir.
You skipped that.
I did. I should have, took a time on that.
Tell us what it says.
So, any drainage structures that drain to or directly to, which is pretty much anything around here, a water body, like our creeks, tidal creeks, et cetera. And I believe it's part of the requirement to follow the coastal stormwater supplement, I believe. But anyway, it's to notify folks, hey, don't dump anything into this drain, or make people aware walking over the top of it, that, hey, this does go straight to our streams. It's a stormwater thing, drainage. Our manholes,
So they're required to put that on now?
sir?
They're still required to put that on?
The city has to put that, or they choose to put that on their storm drainage structures, correct?
Yeah, first time I'd ever seen that.
Is it?
You know,
Yeah.
I've seen storm drain
Right.
Yeah.
lids, but
Yeah.
I've never seen drains to waterways.
Yeah,
It's
it's
got
got
fish on it too.
a picture of the fish, which I guess could be interpreted as a trout, but it kind of looks like a carp to me. Goldfish, maybe koi, I don't know.
Yeah.
But you also see the stickers, kind of to retrofit like curb inlets and things. The city or the county will go around and put these decals. They're kind of like markers and whatnot, and they're blue, have a fish on it. And they'll actually glue those things down on the curb inlet so people walking by can say, oh, I shouldn't dump my oil in this because now I'm aware that it goes straight to the creek. So
And it's, in converse to the subdivision where you just hit the storm drain because it doesn't go
leaves,
there.
everything, right?
Yeah, it doesn't go there.
If you can shove it in there, it's good, right? With grass clippings.
Hey, an HOA president my neighbor's gonna go by one day, he's blowing all his clippings into the street, and he's got a blower going into the storm, going like, hey, dude, what are you doing?
Get rid of them.
Yeah.
Somebody
Out of
else's
sight,
problem
out of
now.
mind.
It's not somebody else's problem, sir, we got private storm drains out there, but don't do that.
But thank you for the question. That's good observation to talk about. All right, so that's the majority of the pictures there, or at the end of the picture. We do have the spreadsheet, which has the detail of all of our projects, whether under construction or not. Some of them designed, some of them pending design, et cetera. But happy to answer any other questions if there are any.
Are we gonna get a report on the smoke testing?
That will be in July. We met with our smoke testing partners yesterday, got a draft presentation and report from them for us to review with the goal to present that to the facilities committee meeting at the July timeframe. Very successful project. I think they got some great things to highlight. Looking forward to seeing the report presented and also presenting information on the improvements we've made since that has been undertaken. So McKimmon Creek should be here at the July meeting. We had a meeting with them yesterday. They agreed to be here for that. So
What's 2501 McKenzie DePrater?
McKenzie to
Extension.
Prater extension, that was a water main extension of a section of new right-of-way out off of 341 by the new school and the subdivisions out there. So we installed new water main as a portion of the Glynn County project to loop that back to 341. That project is complete. It's going to be closed out as a COD.
Trying to get water and sewer close to the Sterling intersection.
Okay,
We're working through that process.
The aim.
good report, Todd.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Now we'll go to the approval section of the agenda. Minutes from the May 20th, 2026 Facilities Committee meeting. Can I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor? Motion carries 3-0. Item 2, contract award, pump station 3103/4119 rehab and force main phase 1 services. Mr.
Yes,
Burke.
as we were mentioning on the clarifier rehab project, going with this alternative delivery approach has been successful for us, and we desire to do that on this project. We actually have two separate funded projects. 3103 is in Royal Oak subdivision at exit 29. Pump station receives flow from the commercial areas around the subdivision, the hotels, the restaurants, the gas stations, things like that. Also receives all the flow from, of course, the neighborhood and all the flow that is delivered from the port at exit 29 at Colonel's Island. So that station is in need of improved flow rates. Currently is a
Where's
full.
the station on here?
I'm trying to get there, but it's not wanting to cooperate with me. I was told this was going to be faster. You wait till Danny gets back from out of the country.
Is it duplex pump?
It's a duplex pump station, sir. It's 400 gallons a minute right now. We're going to 650 gallons a minute based off of the way we calculate flows. That may require a new wet well where that's being considered at this moment. Likely maybe a situation where we have to, at the very least, install some sort of additional wet well capacity, maybe using an influent manhole to increase the well capacity. So 3103 right here, Andy Tossinson Road, the Fancy Bluff Well Facility. This is the new hotel facility that has been constructed in the last year and a half or so. So all of this flow from the commercial areas on the east side of I-95 flow to the station. Then again, like I mentioned, you see this green force main line here. That is the flow from the port. So this is to upsize the flow, but to upsize the flow, we also need to install a new force main through the area. Force main limited on the velocities going in. Current force main comes down underneath I-95, goes 6-inch force main through an 8-inch casing, so we cannot reutilize the existing casing. So we're gonna have to bore the interstate to put in a bigger casing and a bigger carrier pipe for that force main. The goal is to reroute that off of the existing force main so that it can stay in service throughout the project other than tie-ins, and actually go directly to the wastewater plant at exit 29 back through the neighborhood. And so the second project, 4119. 4119 is at the intersection of Golden Isles Parkway and Highway 99. It is a major pump station in the North Mainland District. It takes all of the flow up Golden Isles Parkway across 99 and all of the flow west or south of Golden Isles Parkway along Highway 99 until you reach Chancellor Road, which is the end of the system over there. So all of that flow comes through there. And GIS is not cooperating with me. We may have to go to Google Maps. So, pump station is right here, off in the corner. If you know what it is, you know what it is, but otherwise you won't even notice it.
That's it, right at Chance Road, you said?
This is at Golden Isles Parkway, the new roundabout at 99. This takes flow all the way from Chancellor Road. So Tanglewood, Autumnswood, out to the Chancellor Road area. It also takes all of the flow from the neighborhoods up Golden Isles Parkway on both sides of the road, and will receive the flow from the new school facility that is being constructed at the north end of Golden Isles Parkway. And takes flow from these areas over here on the other side of the intersection as well. So that station has seen a significant increase in demand for flow based off of planned developments that have submitted capacity requests. We need to take that station from 800 gallons per minute to 1,950 gallons per minute. That is not the demand today, but that is the demand moving forward. So we need to go to a 12-inch force main. Currently, the force main, it pumps alongside Highway 99 and dumps in right here at the new Amazon public right-of-way out there. We mentioned Altama Plantation is about to extend a force main back through these easement areas and tie in over here on Shell Road. The new force main we will be installing will be manifolding into that new force main so that the flow from Highway 99 will pump directly to Shell Road and off of 4118. So we have to install the section from this intersection back to the pump station, which is about 10,000 linear feet. So we put out an RFP for a design build proposal on this. We had the most well-attended pre-proposal meeting in the history of the Joint Water and Sewer Commission. I believe there were 60 people on site. Parking was at a premium, but good job by our purchasing team to getting such interest in this project. But we were able to get 10 proposals, which I also believe may be a record for the Joint Water and Sewer Commission for a capital project. So 10 proposals were scored by a 3-member panel with representation from operations, engineering, and senior leadership. The highest average scoring proposal was submitted by Garney Companies at with the design services of McKim & Crete at a overall average score of 84. Phase 1 services from Garney will be $492,000. The proposed overhead and fee percentages added to all Phase 2 services, if awarded, will be 5% and 9%. And all proposers submitted a preliminary budget estimate for the total project cost. The median project cost was $9.4 million, which I like to see because the budget's $9.8 million. The progressive design build does require open book pricing and enables us to have a deeper understanding of those cost drivers. Like I mentioned on the clarifier project, if we're seeing costs rising in areas, we can see where that's coming in at. Garney is committed to providing a guaranteed maximum price for Phase 2 services within 120 days of contract initiation, not award. And so these are funded from 2 separate projects. Total allocated funding is $9.8 million. And again, median cost, including Phase 1 services, total project cost on the estimate is $9.4 million. We'll see where that comes in at. Staff would like to recommend we move forward with Garney Companies to award Phase 1 services $492,000. Would like to point out, we did have, one of the things that was mentioned as a tremendous benefit to Garney is they will be self-performing the vast majority of the work and not subcontract a lot of this out. Garney is a very large contracting company, and they'll be self-performing the piping installation, both open cut and drilling. They'll be self-performing the pump station work, and they have their own electrical teams as well. So there may be minor things that are subbed out, but the bulk of the work presented by Garney will be self-performed. We did have some new players in the market, so it's good to see the interest. Hopefully that continues moving forward. We get additional interest from outside areas. But overall, recommendation is to move forward with Garney. Pricing was considered as a factor of this proposal for both the Phase 1 services, and the overhead and fee percentages were included in that scoring matrix.
So this is a fixed fee of $492,000?
For Phase 1 services, yes, sir. $490 for that, and then they will bring forth a guaranteed maximum price that we will present for consideration for award. As we mentioned on these projects, we are not required to move forward with Garney for Phase 2 services. We will be provided with a 30% design package through the end of Phase 1 services. And if we can't come to an agreement on price, we could pick it up from that point and go elsewhere.
So the $492 is for the design of the force mains?
No, not all. It's just get to 30% design, do investigation, things like that. So the contractor and the engineer both get paid as portion of Phase 1. It's because the contractor helps with routing and things like that. That make a lot of sense. So.
Okay. And what's the time schedule for this?
120 days upon notice to proceed for getting us a guaranteed maximum price. So if we're awarded tomorrow, contracts start, we're probably looking at early August before we kick this off. So you're looking at end of the year before we got a guaranteed maximum price. And 120 days is when they deliver that to staff. Staff then takes the opportunity to review and see where we might want to go through that. So for the board, maybe January, February before we see a guaranteed maximum price presented to the board.
This is not going to affect the development up there, though, is it?
No, sir. The Atama Plantation Development putting that force main in to give them sufficient capacity through the first few phases of their project, and we'll just be tying on to this, and this will not impact their development.
Right. Can I have a motion?
I move the Facilities Committee recommend awarding the contract to Garney Companies, Inc. for Phase 1 services for the Pump Station 3103 and Pump Station 4119 expansion force main project in the amount of $492,000.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you. Next item is final balance and change order.
Oh.
Canal Road.
Got your name on the memo, sir. You jump all over it.
Gotcha. Let's go through it then. All right, Chairman, Commissioners, thank you. This is to close out our Canal Road Water Production Facility project. That is again, similar to the Exit 29 well. We took an existing well, improved it, Built a ground storage tank out there, and also built the production facility, which pushes the water out to the system. It's there adjacent to Glynn County's traffic circle improvements there at Glencoe Parkway and Canal, and this is to close it out. Final adjustment change order here. Essentially, to sum it up, there is a deduction final. We did use $350,000 plus out of the contract amount, so that is deducted out. And then also is to address a few extra work days that were attached to this project as well. Project's been functioning for some time since it's been brought online, and I think from the Mr. Burrows' report on the well facilities shown that it's actually pulling its weight.
It is absolutely pulling its weight.
Quite well.
It's been online since mid-September of last year. We've just been trying to get through the final items on the list. So it's been functional since.
And did we get all the documents between the parties executed and recorded?
As far as I know, sir.
Talking about as-built or no?
No, we're talking about with the airport. As far as I
With the
know, we have got all those
airport,
executed.
Those documents.
They were made aware that apparently they were not routed through all the parties, and I think we got that taken care of. So
I think.
Until we get the next round, but I think we're in good shape. This is an easy decision. If you want to save $350,000.
Well, I'll jump all over that. And move that the Facilities Committee approve final adjusting change order as a project time extension with a adjusted final project completion date of February 17, 2026, and adjusted final contract amount of $4,816,306.74.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? What was the original contract price?
5.1. 5.167.
All right, that's good. Going in the right direction. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Next thing is Glenn Brunswick 911 Services Agreement for External Entities.
Yes, so this is an annual agreement that we enter into with the Glenn County Board of Commissioners to utilize satellite radios during emergency response. We have 10 of these radios, but the network that these are on also provides radio coverage for police, fire, and EMS services. We do not have access to any of those channels, but we utilize the same network. And so the agreement to get on their network to use those radios is a charge of $55 per month per radio, which is a total of $6,600 annually. This is an item that's budgeted in the admin services annual operating budget. So the request is that we renew the agreement, and these became very handy during Halloween when nobody had cell phone service. That we renew the agreement with the Glenn County Board of Commissioners and enter into the Glenn Brunswick 911 Services Agreement.
Can I have a motion?
Motion, I move the Facilities Committee recommend the full commission enter into the Glenn Brunswick 911 Services Agreement with Glenn County Board of Commissioners.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you. Next item is dedication of infrastructure and easements. Mr. Klein.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, thank you again. This item is for the dedication of infrastructure and a few easements and one warranty deed for a parcel for a pump station as related to the Alabama Plantation residential and also commercial development there just adjacent to exit 42. Would like to recognize also in attendance Mr. Chuck Munn. He is Director of Development with HIC Land, a Hoyer Investment Group here. So Chuck, thank you for attending. If there's any questions that I can't answer, certainly I'll yield to Mr. Chuck to answer as well, but appreciate you attending, so thank you. So to break it down, this is to address the phase 1 of the development of multiple phases of Alabama Plantation and also the supporting infrastructure that follows the pathway of the entrance road and then a little bit beyond to go to the pump station. And that's why you see it broken down to phase 1 residential. And then also there is a infrastructure phase 1 and 2 and pump station item there too. So easiest way for us to break it down. Their record drawings are attached so you can see what the actual infrastructure was that was installed. Typical 8-inch PVC water mains, fire hydrants, appurtenances, typical collection, gravity collection, PVC sewer and manholes, and then also the pump station. And right now, note, everything developed at this point will drain down to a pump station. And we call it temporary because as development expands out there and as maybe future joint water endeavors out there in the area too with treatment plants, et cetera, happen, this whole design has been done so as to facilitate reversal of the flow of the direction of the wastewater to a future plant if it does indeed happen. Yes, sir.
Is this pump station 4121 you're talking about?
Yes, sir. It will be 4121 upon dedication.
So we're talking about that line, the yellow line, and everything in
And
the,
then everything to the left there in the platted lots.
yeah. There's still a whole lot more to be done in that.
There is very much. So this first development is about 159 residential lots. There's also the phase 2 will be coming in very quickly behind this one, about 130 or so lots. There's also about 150 acres of commercial and multifamily possibly also out there as well that's adjacent to this area here along the interstate. So I'm sure it's maybe market driven, which happens first, or in what order, whatnot, but I'm confident that there's going to be much more.
The pond's out there, is that right? Is that a pond? Is that, there's a pond on the development someplace.
Correct, right, yeah.
Where's
So,
that pond?
yeah, typically stormwater retention in phase 1 certainly is going to be here and here.
And where's
Now,
our plant site?
Far north. Not on that map right there.
Let's see if I can.
That's what with that.
Still not jiving with us here, is it, for some reason?
So how many lots are in this?
First phase is 159.
And how many total lots do we have? 1,500?
Almost 2,000 total residential lots, I believe. They do it in phases so they can plat those lots, get those building, and then they'll do the next phase. This is typically we don't have as many phases as this project would have given the size of the development, but this is very much a standard procedure for
Yeah.
performing these developments.
Yeah, since our GIS is kind of acting up on us a little bit.
The deal you had first would look pretty good.
It's just at the bottom of that picture, second picture we're looking at now.
Yeah, so it's at the upper right corner.
Now, the county has to approve the roads, right? Except the roads?
Correct, right. So as part of the plat, the county accepts the roadways as public right of way, correct, within here, and then also the entrance roads and everything else.
And that's already been completed, correct?
I think it's coming Thursday night.
Okay.
Is this the main entrance into the whole development, or is there another one, a future entrance?
Correct. So, again, we'll utilize Mr. Q Public here to kind of get an idea. Main entrance is coming here, DuPont, coming in, major traffic circle. Phase 1 is into here, phase 2 will be beyond. And along the, this area through here will be the commercial and possibly multifamily.
Okay.
And as Mr. Burrow said, plant site. Zoom out a little bit more.
So this is the main entrance in for the entire development?
Correct, right. It's the first, correct. Phase 1 is the first one that you come to, you see as you come to the
So
internal
when we're
traffic circle.
accessing our plant, we'll come to this entrance?
That's correct.
And go down
that main
Through
Broadway
the,
right
through
away.
the entire development?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
With sleds, trucks, and everything else?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, we won't be within the residential areas. It'll be on the outside, the larger traveling road, the boulevard, I'll call
They're
it.
gonna have, the commercial will be behind it.
Will be between the commercial and the residential.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so if I jump back to here, yeah, this is more like a
Right,
major commercial,
Yeah.
boulevard style
okay.
roadway through here.
All the commercial will be accessed from that, so we don't have any more curb cuts on.
Is that road in all the way to the pump station now?
It is.
Okay.
And that's that's part of the infrastructure development that we're talking about here. Phase 1 pretty much goes up to the traffic circle.
So this is accepted, and right now, they got the force mains in?
Yes, sir.
Force main is in back to 99, and then they're fixing to start the force main to go under 99 and tie to that manifold at 4118.
It would televise the lines and all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So, thank you for asking. That's right. So at this point, we have done all the testing, the inspections all the way through construction at this point, testing, televising. Want to thank Ford again for and their contract Valancourt worked very diligently with us through the punch list items. A lot of work between staff, operations, PNC, everybody getting that done.
So
everything's
Valancourt
been-
was the contractor?
Sir?
Valancourt was the contractor.
Correct.
Good.
All right, so there's the dedication sheets in there. If there's any questions on the footages of the water lines and sewer lines, and there is the pump station there. A couple easements to facilitate everything in here for us, and then there is that warranty deed I mentioned. We have to do the warranty deed, so the Joint Water Commission does own the parcel.
Are the pumps in there?
Sits on.
Pumps already in the,
Pump station's functional, and it's been signed off on.
that's a good project.
It's a very nice project.
Do we have any more?
That's the only ones for today, sir.
That's it, yes, sir.
Can I have a motion?
Chairman, I move that the Facilities Committee recommend the full commission accept this infrastructure with associated easements as applicable.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion carries. Thank you.
Chairman, I believe Mr. Munn wanted to speak to the board.
Okay.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I'm Chuck Munn. I'm Director of Development for Hoyer Investment Company. We are really excited to see this first phase be at a point of turnover. It's taken a while to get there because there's a lot of infrastructure that's gone into it outside of just what is in the residential area. Working with Andrew and Todd and their entire team here, we've, I think, as Todd said, had a great working relationship. The contractor we brought in, Valancourt, we think has done an exceptional job. And we just will be with you for probably the next 10 to 15 years completing this project. Right now, yes, a lot of people say, when is commercial going to start? Well, we really need some rooftops out there first. We look at that 150 acres as being not just typical interstate commercial. We have roughly 2,000 rooftops of residential that will be behind that, and we know there'll be other residential in that northeast area, it's going to be coming, that we'd also utilize a component of neighborhood commercial to look at some things like a grocery store that might serve the residential, cut down on the amount of traffic in the area by having those types of uses and things that people actually use that live there close by. We think that there'll be a balance between that and, we've got plenty of hotels coming to see us right now, say, can we buy a parcel from you? We said, not right now. So we're trying to diligently plan that to both serve our residential community but also be supportive of interstate commercial. So we are working with some outside groups on that because we're really not commercial developers. We focus more on residential, so when it gets into this much commercial, we bring in some outside sources. But I'll just say you've got the team that you've got here is doing a great job for you and certainly looking out for your best interest and making sure that what we do is done properly. And I was mentioning to Mr. Fields over here, as we were talking before the meeting, that, you know, I may not be the one to see this through. I'll be about 90 when we finish this, so I think I'll probably hang my spurs up before that. But I was down here in 1981, 82, and 83. And I worked at Sea Palms Plantation at the time, so I have a lot of roots that go back here. I had some great years at St. Simon's and Brunswick, and it's good to be back and, you know, good to see the area again. So we're excited to be here and got some good folks working for us. So thank you for your time. You guys are doing a great job.
We appreciate that, and we enjoy working with y'all too.
Thank you.
Just keep putting the roads in. Okay, that's it, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion.